Welcome back to Play and Trade Guitars. I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera, and this is Play and Trade Guitars, where we play it and trade it. Continuing our look at the American Vintage II collection from Fenders. These are spot-on recreations of the vintage classics, year by year, and this one is the 1963 Telecaster with a beautiful slab rosewood board, and they really took their attention to detail super serious. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this guitar. We'll put it on the bench and pull it apart. Of course, we're going to plug it in and play it. But at the top, if you're in the market for this guitar or any other gear, click to buy new gear using our link. You help us make these demos when you buy any new gear using any of our links. And in the States, you're gonna get fast free shipping and easy payment plans. It makes buying new gear super easy. For a limited time right now, you can take 10% off anything Fender, so act now. You'll find that pinned in the comments or down below in the description. We're also giving away an American-made acoustic guitar made by Martin, the D28, legendary D28, when we hit 100,000 subscribers. To win that guitar, make sure you hit subscribe if you have it and sign up via Gleam. All right, let me show you this 1963 Tele. I feel like they're doing a great job with this series. Let's open that case and take a look. This isn't just inspired by a 1963 Telecaster. This practically is a 1963 Telecaster. In fact, I find myself saying this would be the perfect guitar to bring on the road if you wanted as close to the real thing as you could possibly get. But fantastic. I mean, down to this beautiful sunburst, original ashtray with the 3-saddle design. You've even got clay fret markers on here, and these closely spaced 12th clay dot markers just make it really look like the authentic thing. Nitro finish on the body and neck. You got this nice gloss finish and a beautiful slab of rosewood, and just a really exciting guitar. Let's go ahead and hit the bench and pull this apart, and then we're gonna plug it in. But very impressed by this series for sure. All right, starting up at the top of the headstock, we got the silver Fender spaghetti letter logo, Telecaster there in quotations, Telecaster named after television, which was brand spanking new at the time. And I'll tell you what, early 50s when they did this, they sure did get it right. In the 60s, they started putting the rosewood, and this slab of rosewood looks beautiful. You got these single line Fender Deluxe tuners, slab of rosewood, medium C-shaped neck. It's not necessarily chunky, but it's got some good body to it. I really like it. Extra mild, they went with these clay dot fret markers. Coming down here, you got the 3-guard, you got the 3-ply pickguard, 3-color sunburst finish, the ashtray bridge. It does come with the cover as well, which is super cool. And then just your traditional blade switch, volume and tone. Classic Telecaster, early 60s look. I love this guitar. Let's go ahead and get the strings out of the way. We'll get some measurements. You got a V serial number on the back of the plate, and I'll go ahead and flip this around. We got an alder body, and I'll pop this neck out. Get a look at the raw alder. Looks like Meg put her mark down in there. We've got the 7¼ inch vintage radius, so more of a pronounced hump, and then also the truss rod adjustment vintage style back here, and then a few modern factory marks for moving around the factory in production. 1.66 inches at the nut, bone nut on here. 0.83 inches at the first, up to 0.95 inches at the 12th. And they're putting vintage tall frets on here, which helps when you're bending strings in a 7¼ inch radius neck. Keeps you from choking out on those bends. So they really did a nice pairing here with the frets. Good old slab Telecaster body. Alder body comes in at 1.77 inches thick. Nitro finish on that. All right, let's flip up this 3-ply pickguard and give you a look at the routing underneath. Got this kind of smuggler's cavity, they call that. You can use your imagination in what you might smuggle. And then you got the neck pickup here. These are pure vintage 63 Telecaster pickups, perfectly matched to this guitar. And so far the series has sounded awesome. And you got that ashtray bridge pickup there. You can let me know in the comments, but I think this smuggler's cavity might have only been 63. So it's kind of cool that they have that detail there.
Perfect size for a joint.
That's the one. Flipping on the multimeter, get a reading on these pickups. We're at 5.8 in bridge, 7.1 in neck, 3.2 combined. All right, let's get a weight. 7 pounds, 15 ounces, we'll call it 7.9 pounds. Good weight for a Tele here. And then flipping it around, the neck shape has been consistently good on these, and you do feel the more pronounced vintage radius, but there's something about their choice of frets that was perfect for this series. I think they call them vintage tall or narrow tall, but they're just a little bit taller to facilitate bending. without doing what you might do on a vintage neck, which is choke out on the actual hump of the neck when you go to bend. That doesn't happen on these. It hasn't happened on a single one that we've demoed. So very, in that sense, very playable. The nitro gloss feels good in the hand. Just a great playing experience. Remember, if you're in the market for this, click to buy, save yourself 10% while you can. Click our link down in the comments, down in the description. That's how we make these demos when you buy new gear using our link, and we really appreciate that. And you get lots of benefits too. This is my favorite part. Let's get it plugged in. I'll show you clean tones, we'll dirty it up, and then we'll let it sing behind a track. Final score on the other side, along with my honest, raw reaction to playing this guitar. So drop a comment as we go. I'll see you on the other side. Let's get plugged in. man, this series is rocking, and I love this guitar. You stuck with me to the end, so I'm gonna give you my raw reaction and my final score. I'm loving the American Vintage II series. This is one of the best batches of guitars that we've come in for review, period. Loving this. This is the 1963 Telecaster. If you're in the market for this guitar, I can't recommend it enough, just cutting to the chase. Click our link to buy any gear that you're in the market for. It really does help us, so we appreciate it. I give a final score to a guitar based on 3 main categories: overall playability, overall sound, overall value. All right, let's talk overall playability. This 7¼ inch radius neck does not get in my way at all. Like I told you, they paired it nicely with the taller frets so that you can bend, you can go nuts on this guitar, and it was just a dream to play. In terms of the weight, it was a comfortable Telecaster weight. Nothing about this guitar did anything other than inspire me to play. So from a playability standpoint, I've got absolutely nothing to fault. It's just a straight ahead take on a 1963 vintage Telecaster. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9.1 on overall playability. When it comes to overall sound, the pickups in this entire series are just phenomenal. Some of the best that Zach and I honestly have heard on any batch of guitars that have come in. It's shocking. It really is that good. These are I think they call them pure vintage 1963 pickups. And I'll tell you what, nailing the tone that I want out of a Telecaster. I consider a Telecaster to be just hands down the most versatile guitar on the planet. You can do everything with it. This one in particular just has that hi-fi sound that you feel like you get when you play an old vintage Tele. There's just some magic to those pickups that they captured here. I'm gonna give it a 9.6. I was gonna say 9.5. I'm gonna give it a 9.6 on overall sound. It's that good. And then overall value, remember you can get 10% off right now using our link for a limited time. Don't miss out on that sale. It'll save you some real money. Comes with the hard shell case, comes with all the appointments that make this a true to 1963 original Telecaster with the rosewood. And you know, with the discount right now, it's somewhere around, let's say under $2,000, somewhere around there. Fantastic guitar. Compare this to trying to get a real 1963 Telecaster, or somebody who's looking for a professional grade instrument, professional looking to take something on the road that they're not gonna have to worry about but does the same job. I can't endorse this enough. And if you're somebody who just wants to play at home but wants nothing short of the best, I'm telling you right now, hands down, this series has been amongst the absolute best guitars that we have reviewed on Play and Trade Guitars. Hands down. Value score, for everything that's included and the little attention to details, including pieces that were machined in many cases on the original machines from the 50s and 60s, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9.0 on overall value. That is gonna bring us to a high final score of 9.2 for the 1963 Telecaster. Click our link to buy any gear, including this guitar. You will not be disappointed. For Play and Trade Guitars, I'm John, that's Zach behind the camera. Make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't. If these demos are helping, do us a favor, drop a comment, show us a like, and make sure you're subscribed. You'll also be in it to win it with that Martin D28 giveaway when we had 100,000 subscribers. Everything you need to know is down below. Until next time, see you guys on Play and Trade Guitars.